Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fgeitas Show. Today is April 3rd, if I got the date correctly, and I'm your host, Fgeitas. Welcome to the Fgeitas Show. It's a podcast, some sort of podcast, where we talk about video games news, and the most variety of stuff, as long as it's related to video games. It's been a week. It's been a hell of a week for news, and I thought, and moms, yeah, and moms. That's true. We also talk about moms. Weird week. I thought, like, I stupidly I was like preparing the news last week, and I was just like putting stuff on my Discord servers, like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about this, gonna talk about that. After the direct, the Ubisoft news hit, and I stupidly placed on my Discord saying, yeah, I'm gonna talk about this, like it's probably the main theme podcast, the main theme of the next podcast, about the Ubisoft and Tencent stuff. The whole new subsidiary stuff that happened last week, and I stupidly forgotten that Switch 2 was gonna get a whole direct on the next week. I'm like, and I was watching direct yesterday. I was like, I'm so stupid. I totally forgot this was gonna happen. I'm like, yeah. Switch, right? They made another one, apparently. So as Nintendo is claiming, I guess Nintendo claimed they're making a new Switch, and so I have, like, for you today, I have like some programs. Like we'll talk about some games as usual. I've been playing stuff, and then we'll watch not the entirety of Direct, but we'll scrub through it, I guess. Check out some highlights, some thoughts that I had, and then we'll talk about the Ubisoft stuff later down the line. I mean, there's not much to tell right now. Like, I think the Ubisoft stuff, after some deep thinking about it, I don't think it's that serious. I honestly even think it's actually good, on the long run, I guess. But yeah, but first of all, some games, because I was fiddling around this weekend, because so obviously I have a bunch of games to finish, right? Obviously, like, I got some games to finish, and I said, yeah, I have UFO 50, and I have like, I've been playing Tekken, and so, like, the only thing that's like normal to do in these situations is, instead of finishing a game, I installed more games on my Steam Deck, and I decided to just play the entirety of Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes on my Steam Deck. From, like, straight from to start to finish, because obviously, why not? Obviously, why not? Why wouldn't I fiddle with emulators and ROMs and, like, the whole Steam Deck situation? Because obviously, we wake up one day and the whole thing on your mind is, I should play Twin Snakes, the Metal Gear Solid 1 remake that they made for the GameCube. And honestly, it's not as bad as the internet makes it out to be. It's definitely different, and there's some choices. There's some interesting choices in that remake, but overall, like so first, like major difference for the remake is, one, cutscenes are all like redone. So the janky PS1 cutscenes, I mean, janky, saying it janky, it's kind of like a disservice because the cutscenes on the PS1 were actually pretty good. But they redone the whole cutscenes to make it more spectacular, I guess. So instead of like first combat scene, I think it's like Solid Snake versus Revolver Ocelot. Revolver Ocelot shoots or tries to shoot Snake as first confrontation, and while on the PS1 you have Solid Snake like just dodging to the side and the bullet missing. In here he does a whole ass backflip just to dodge a freaking bullet. It's absolutely fantastic. It's so over the top because, like, obviously, like what's the correct choice when someone points a bullet at you and you decide, you know, I gotta dodge this thing, and like the only way to dodge is like I gotta do a backflip, man. Like if I'm gonna dodge this, I might as well be cool as fuck. And so he just jumps up, does a whole backflip in the air, and the bullet misses, does 3 or 4 ricochets, and nothing happens. Like, yeah, like this is gonna be some cool duel. And the second one, you could also use the force and choke. I guess, yeah. But he needed to be Psycho Mantis as well. But like in terms of coolness, there's another thing. Like there's obviously, like, everyone knows Metal Gear story at this point, and if you don't know, like, please go play those games. Those are actually pretty good. But there's a fight with a helicopter on top of a tower. And on the first game, you use a Stinger missile, so like some type of a bazooka or guided missile to take down the helicopter. And on the last hit, you would see a cutscene where the helicopter starts to having smoke and like blowing up a little bit while just going down. While you hear the villain like, "No, Snake," and just goes and kaboom. Here, you see a whole ass cutscene where the helicopter fires 2 missiles at you while, like, that has tracking. So, like, the missiles are kind of chasing Snake, and he runs backwards, jumps, steps on the first missile, does a whole jump forward while evading the second one, and uses that propel jump to fire a final missile into the helicopter, and just like finishes in a cool pose while the helicopter drops down and like explodes in the background. Cool animation style. Like, okay, it's borderline cringe, but actually pretty cool. So like if there's ever a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1, I wouldn't mind if they kept this anime-esque cutscenes in there, because I honestly believe like it's pretty cool. That being said, some changes that are not too good on that game is so once they basically use the whole Metal Gear Solid 2 engine to remake this game for the GameCube. And you have some major differences. That, like, one, you have like some cabinets and closets that you can drag the enemy soldiers into them and hide them in the closet, just like you would in Metal Gear Solid 2 with Raiden and Solid in that game. But and like they are scattered throughout. It's not like now that it's not like in every corner now there's a closet that you can use this, or locker, right? But you can use that now to progress through the game, and that's cool. Like you can, there's like a lot of lockers you can get like other items and stuff. So like as you progress through the game, like you get more stuff to check out. But the main difference is that, like in Metal Gear Solid 2, you can now aim down sights. Aiming down sights turns that game into a complete easy fest. It's so like so they obviously also I guess you can vault over like small railings if you are near a like a waist high railing, although like honestly it doesn't change that much unless you are like escaping. It's kind of useful in that situation. But the aiming down sights, so like in the first Metal Gear you would look at a top down like camera. Hey Mary, welcome to the stream. But yeah, like in the PlayStation 1 remake, we usually look at Solid Snake from a top-down perspective. Oh yeah, we're talking about... I've played the remake of Metal Gear Solid 1 Twin Snakes for GameCube, and that's what we're talking about. We'll go into the Nintendo Switch after this, in case you're wondering why I'm talking about Solid Snake. But yeah, like you would see the top-down view from the PS1 game. And you kind of had to guess where the guards are. But in the remake, you just get to an area, check out straight aim down sights, and you can basically... Oh, they added the sleeper pistol, the pistol that has the tranquilizer darts. So you basically just get the tranquilizer out, you aim everywhere, put all the guards to sleep, and done. That's how you progress an area without much hassle. And it's... just makes the game so easy. Obviously, like there's higher difficulty settings. You can use that higher difficulty where if you get spotted, it's game over for you, and like that's fine. But like if you're playing on normal, you can just aim down sights and just take every guard out, mostly in most of the areas, and just go through the game. Same with some bosses. Like I defeated Vulcan Raven, which chases you with a giant machine gun, like a minigun sort of deal. And the only thing that I did was like equip my machine gun at the end of the corridor, and looked straight down, aiming down sights at the other end where I knew Vulcan Raven would be, and just shoot him, because he couldn't hit me because the cone of vision doesn't get as far as where I am, right? So I just stood in the corner and like shot bullets at him until he died, and that's it. Bosses become extremely easy. So like overall, I get it's a cool change in terms of gameplay because it modernizes the game for a GameCube audience. On the other hand, like there's no they didn't like tweak the rest of the game to accommodate for those changes, and it just makes the game super easy. And yeah, like I played on the GameCube, ended up like finishing last night, defeated the whole Liquid Snake situation and the Metal Gear. They changed some voice acting, not for the best, I'd say. I think it's the only like real downgrade of that game, is that some voices are changed and they're not for the better. They've redone a bunch of stuff, and they changed specifically Deep Throat's voice, the Grey Ninja that appears in Metal Gear Solid 1. Now it's voiced by Rob Layfield, I think, which used to it's the guy that used to voice Animaniacs. The whole voice like the Animaniacs, like it doesn't have this voice, obviously. Thankfully, it doesn't have the Animaniacs voice. But it's such a departure from the original Gray Fox. That's like, that's kind of a clash there, and some line deliveries are just not there at all. It's weird. But anyway, I like sometimes this stuff happens, and I wake up and I really want to play a game, and so I go out of my way just to be like, yeah, I need to play this game. Like, I really want to play this game now. So I just installed the whole Dolphin situation on the Steam Deck, and I had to play Metal Gear Solid. You know, normal stuff, I guess, for casual gaming, as usual. But you guys are here to hear me talk about the news. And Nintendo has made the news a lot this week. Nintendo has made a whole lot of news this week with the announcement of the sequel to the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch 2. By What are you guys' thoughts on it? Like, what's the deal? What are your thoughts on the overall situation? That's my question for you guys. In chat, like the whole Nintendo thing. Let me search here for the. Actually, I had the thing somewhere here. There you go. I'm gonna watch the UK Direct because I think it's easier. We'll scrub through this. Like, we're not gonna watch the whole 1 hour presentation for the Direct. Like, I don't think that's not fair for you guys to watch this again, and it's not even fair for me to watch this again. So we'll just go through the bullet points and check out what's in there. But overall, like, I think the Direct was pretty solid in terms of like showcasing what the console is actually able to do. So let's start with they started with Mario Kart. How's the sound for you guys? Is it too loud? Let's go. So we start with Mario Kart. Mario Kart, like, real talk, it seems absolutely crazy. Like, the fact that you have so many contestants at one specific race. 24, right? If I counted correctly. Very wide areas, very open wide like scenarios for you to explore. The main thing about this is that they're going full open world in this, which was something I was not expecting. I always expect like some gimmick changes, like the rail thing. They went all Sonic. The side jump or the wall jump, and a cow. The cow is making the meme rounds, obviously, because obviously it's a cow. Some suit changes. I don't understand exactly what this means in terms of gameplay, but they show the characters like eating something and changing appearance mid race. Not sure what that entails in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, like, looks great. Like, I think it's honestly like a banger of a start for a Nintendo Switch presentation to show what's probably the most sold game on the Switch, right? 10 million copies, if I believe. So it only makes sense for them to show what's the sequel to the best game that they have, or the most sold game that they have. And they went all Forza Horizon Burnout Paradise in this, which honestly sounds super cool, you know. But I wonder, like, I do not consider myself a Mario Kart fan. I'm gonna say this, like, I like playing the game. I think the game is super fun to play, but like, there are some hardcore psychos out there that really enjoy playing this game or this series. And for me, like, they going open world, I think it's really cool. I think it's very interesting, like, from a technology standpoint and like from a fresh take standpoint as well. I wonder what the hardcore fans feel about this, because I'm not sure if that's what they wanted. But also, like, how can you be mad at this, right? Like, it just looks fantastic. The only thing that I could point out is that, boy, if you hated to get like 11 shells in a row and getting knocked off like the fucking track by 3 or 4 drivers in a row, with 23, man, some people are gonna get super pissed. And you're gonna get a lot of Mario Karted situations, so that's not gonna be... That's not gonna be great for your anxiety and stress. And if you don't recall, Mario Kart was rated one of the most stressing inducing games in the whole gaming world. So yeah, with more people, more stress. That's how it goes. They're gonna have a whole direct on the 17th, which I will probably look like after. I will not. 17th is on 2 weeks from now, so we'll get more info there. In the meantime, they showcased this. Come on, Chrome. They added a C button to the Switch 2, and C is for you to get a cease and desist automatically delivered at your doorstep by Nintendo. I'm kidding. It's not. It's C for chat, guys. You can now chat on your Nintendo Switch. And I have so much mixed feelings on this. Like, obviously they made it look like a Discord call, which I think like it makes perfect sense. Or like a Google Meet type of situation. I think it makes perfect sense because it's familiar. A lot of people are used to now, like a lot of people are working from home. So making a Discord like UI for you to interact with other people on the Nintendo Switch, like it just makes perfect sense that it's a familiar looking UI. I'm not sure like how good this microphone will work, to be honest. Like the fact RTX as this technology, and this is an Nvidia chip most of all, and it's RTX capable. So like, or at least allegedly it's RTX capable, which means that you can probably use RTX audio technology like you use on your desktop, like on your home PC, to enhance your voice overall. I guess like it makes sense. Hey Nuno, welcome to the stream, man. We're chatting Nintendo as predicted, right? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're getting your deserved rest. But yeah, allegedly, like, this chip has RTX technology, and so like as usually they're probably using some type of AI audio technology to isolate the sound. Thank you. To isolate the sound, to make it like at least sound decent in an environment.
Let's make a left right here. Let's make a left.
This is all great in theory. In practice, you know, it is what it is, and I don't know how well this will work. We'll see. We'll see. Like, in theory, this makes perfect sense. Also, screen sharing. There's a really weird thing where I was looking at it yesterday, and I'm like, they looked at this, like, I think like it's fantastic that they're doing this on the console, but they really looked at this choppy frame rate and they said, yeah, this is good enough. Also, let me say, like, this is completely normal for a person to say, like, you are playing and say, oh yeah, I'm here in the sky, I guess. Like, that's how gamers talk, right? That's how most of us do this. If you're a pro gamer. But yeah, they really looked at the frame rate like, yeah, this is good enough to showcase. Once again, like, I don't think it's that bad. Like, it's just like, interesting that they decided to showcase the screen sharing feature as it will actually be. I'm here in your fireplace when I play Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, that's... I never played Final Fantasy XIV, so I don't know how much context I need to understand that, but it still seems kind of weird. But yeah, kind of neat. Like, people AFKing on furniture, that's fine. And they have a camera now. But I can also add to this, like, as I've seen, like, running around on the... running around, like, in news circles, you don't need this specific camera to use this feature. Some other cameras will be compatible, okay? But they need to be compatible. So, like, it's not every camera will work, but there's other cameras that will be compatible with a Nintendo Switch. You can also connect this camera to the console. That being said, I'm not sure. So, this is gonna be a weird sidetrack. I'm kind of glad that they restricted the camera in a lot of convoluted ways, by the way. The whole parental settings for the camera situation in the game chat, it's very complicated. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm glad they didn't open this to random games, okay? Like, it's not like you're playing a random game, like a ranked game online, and you can turn on your camera to the other random players, okay? Which leads me to believe that Nintendo played the Uno game on the Xbox 360 back in 2000 and somethings, and probably someone got the same situation that I got, that was turning on Uno and seeing a man's butthole directly in front of your camera, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't need to. I don't need to look at this anymore. No, it was kind of wild. It was kind of wild, but at the same time, like, no, I don't need to see anyone's, like, man or woman or, like, whatever you identify with. If you're non-binary, like, I don't need to see your butthole on my screen, especially if I'm playing Uno, okay? So the fact that this is restricted to a group of friends, and even then, it's not your Switch friends or your Nintendo friends. You need to add them in a separate list to, if you're like in parental controls activated. So I understand. You need to add the friends that you wish to use the camera for to a separate list, the game chat friends list, not the Nintendo friend list. And if you're a parent, from what I understand, and this is coming from Patrick Klepek from the site Crossplay, Patrick Klepek was reporting that every time your kid wants to use the camera to voice chat, apparently you're gonna get a prompt on your app that you have on your phone, if you're a said parent, to allow the kid to use the camera. Which makes it, like, kind of awkward, to be honest. Like, I guess, like, if you're at work and your kid is using the Nintendo and wants to game chat with someone, I guess you're gonna get a notification. Or, like, the ideal situation was to add, like, a list of a VIP, a VIP list where you could be like, hey, if your kid is chatting with these people, like, just allow them automatically. But as usual with Nintendo, things are not as straightforward as they could have been. That being said, I think it's pretty cool that they now added a voice function to the Nintendo. I still think, like, on one hand, Discord would be better. Discord would be the easy solution, right? But as usual, Nintendo likes to keep stuff, like, on their own, like, with controlling on their own, so, like, it won't have external factors dropping in randomly. There you go. Like, whenever a child wants to use game chat, like parents needs to allow. Which is kind of weird. They also showed game share. Nintendo DS had the same feature, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure if it's the DS or the 3DS now, but I remember you could play Mario Kart with just one copy of the game. They both did? Okay, fair. Thanks, Nunu, for enlightening it. I remember using it on the DS. I don't think I ever used it on the 3DS, to be honest. Now it's the same, but online. Okay. Via game chat. Okay, that's okay. So it's not local. You can actually do it via the internet. Okay, that's actually pretty good. It's kind of cool. Overall, I think the new features that they showcase, the new features that they showcase are kind of neat. I don't think, like, despite the price that they announced, I think the console looks pretty good. New Switch emulator, true. Like, we're gonna get GameCube games. One interesting thing, though, like they added obviously a better screen, and now you can have 4K output via the dock. I was not counting on getting 120 FPS on your screen, on the Switch screen. I was maybe counting, like, with the upscaling technology, you could get it like the 120 on your monitor TV if supported. On the Switch itself, honestly, kind of surprising, because obviously, like, double the frame rate also needs, like, better battery life. So if you need more battery, they need to get that console on showcase at stores. Yeah, I guess. And this is not like a dunk on it, right? But I wonder what this will do to the battery life. You know, like, if you're playing games at 120 FPS, even if it's like 720p or if it's like 900p, not full HD, it still, like, requires more processing power. And as someone who really likes to play games handheld, the less times I have to charge the console, the better, I think. Okay, like, built-in mic, we've seen this. 3D audio, I don't. They have two USB ports now. We've seen these, like, on the reveal trailer that they showcased, and you can charge, like, from both sides. One thing that I saw on the Nintendo website is that the bottom port only serves to charge the screen, to charge the console, or to use it on the dock. But the top one says specifically to charge the Nintendo Switch in handheld mode or to connect accessories. Does that mean, like, you can't connect other accessories on the bottom one? Like, obviously, like, I'm not expecting the answer right now, but it's kind of weird that they made the distinction on the website. That, like, the top one is for accessories, but you can't connect the accessories on the bottom one. Like, obviously, obviously it makes sense for you to connect the accessories on the top one. Like, you're not gonna connect a USB controller on the bottom screen if you're using it, like, on the table, on tabletop mode, because, like, that's not great. But I wonder if the bottom USB port is compatible. Yeah, I guess. More storage, which makes sense. Like, honestly, I know people were like, oh yeah, cool, 262 gigabytes for storage. I'm like, this is not that much, dudes. Like, On the other hand, like I get it. Nintendo Switch games or Nintendo games usually don't have the don't occupy that much space overall. Okay, like there are exceptions, but overall the games are kind of small, which means like this is more than enough for you to play Nintendo Switch games. But when you have games like Elden Ring and Cyberpunk coming onto this console, I don't know. They also don't get installed. The Switch games or the third-party one? Because I saw some third parties that require the download, right? So if you have like an Elden Ring, Elden Ring will probably require a download. Yeah, Square Enix, obviously. New dock, 4K support. 4K was a surprise, honestly. Like I legit didn't think like 4K was gonna be a thing. I did not think they were gonna make the actual jump. You have OnlyFans now? I mean, a fan on your dock, I guess. I guess if you're playing your games at 4K, Switch is gonna heat up. I'm gonna say this. I believe the Switch will heat up as a motherfucker if you're playing 4K. Especially on the more demanding games.
On Nintendo Switch 2, games.
You don't have a 4K screen. I do have a 4K television on the on my living room. It's 60 FPS though, like, or 60 hertz if you want. On my PC it's only 1080p. Also, what the fuck? Like, so this game, the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, I think this is the only thing that, like, they kind of failed on, in my opinion, like, to deliver. Like, this is a welcoming game, kind of like you have. Some people are comparing this to Astrobot, and I'm like, I'm not sure if Astrobot is the correct, like, comparison, I guess. This is definitely like a Tekken demo to showcase the console. The fact that this is a paid game, and this is depending on the price. Like, if you're telling me I don't get a tech demo to explain things for the system. Care to elaborate? The thing is, like, it's like an interactive manual that will get ignored. Exactly. Like, and the fact that it's paid, like, will get even more ignored, I think. I get there's like mini games and all and stuff, but also, like, depending on how much this game will be sold for. Like, if it's 80, like most of the games that they announced, like, there's no way. If we're talking like, hey, we're gonna sell this for like $5 or $10, it's still more than I would like. It's still more than I would like, but at the same time, like, I think it's more manageable. Like, I would buy a manual, an interactive manual with some games for me to try for $5. Like, being completely honest, okay, like, I'm not, like, I don't want to dunk on this, because this looks honestly pretty interesting. But yeah. 1440 hertz? What do you mean? The Switch is 120. Same as my screen. Actually, no, my center screen is 144. Yeah. Although I always use at 60. Like, I don't play games that require more than 60 FPS. 60 FPS right now, like, it's... Y'all have one question about the Nintendo Switch 2? Maybe I can answer. Probably not, though. Like, you are the one that went to the showcase. I did the same question a few weeks ago. Yeah. But yeah, my center monitor is 144. I have it at 60. I don't use the 144, and the I have 3 monitors. The side ones are 60. They did not let me lick the cartridges. How dare they? Can't believe they made a Nintendo presentation live and they did not let you lick the cartridges. My my guess is they will taste like battery acid, rancid battery acid. That's my take. They will not taste like cherry. Just like serving the cartridges on a plate, like, you care to taste for this Zelda cartridge, please? No! They are red now, it's strawberry, Jesus Christ. Actually, the Pro Controller looks kind of sick. I like the audio jack. I have one question though, like, they... Okay, I'm gonna be so pissed. The triggers are still... Are the triggers still, like, digital? Are they didn't convert the triggers to analog, did they? No, please. Tell me the triggers are analog this time. Tell me they go from 0 to 100 and not on and off. Why, Nintendo? Fuck. Fuck. Like, the... driving games. What the fuck? I want better driving games for... come on. It's a shame. Did they give you like some specs about like the joysticks or something? Like, did they change the joystick for Hall effect or something? So launch date, it's coming June 5th. They did it with the GameCube, nobody cared. It was the best thing about that controller. Okay. Hot take, it was the only good thing about that fucking controller, okay? It's the only good thing about that controller. The rest of the controller can suck my dick. I hate that controller, okay? God damn it. I just think it's too, like, it serves specific purposes on their games, but it's not compatible enough with the rest of the games that you could play. Like, I remember playing Smash on that controller and like, yeah, like this actually makes a lot of sense for Smash. And then I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 and like, fuck this, I hate this. It's just like in the general consensus of making a unified layout for all games, like, I don't think it's the best thing. The other thing is like the C stick. Just make it wider, man. Like, it will hurt my thumb after a while. Which I get it. Obviously, like, it's the C stick and the dual analog thing was still very new at that point, which makes sense. So not everyone was using that to make it aim, like, or to make the character look around. So like, I get it. But now, like, they're updating the controller for the Nintendo Switch for you to play the GameCube games, and like, just make the C stick wider. Just make the C stick. I don't ask for much. And the second one, like, and the third thing, and like the final thing for me on that controller that like kind of rubs me the wrong way is like, they added the Z shoulder button, I guess, but only on one side, and they're like, why make it asymmetrical? Like, you could have, like, we have the same fingers on each side of our hands. Like, they could have made the Z1 and Z2. I'm sorry, it's just like the GameCube controller always sucked for me. I hate it. Except for the analog triggers. Like, I don't need the Pro controller to be I don't need the controller to be like they had the clicky thing on the GameCube. Like I don't need that type of analog. I just wanted it to make like not to be on and off. Okay, and this is coming from a person. This is coming from a person that barely needs it. Like I don't play racing games most of the times, and it's better for me to have a button instead of a trigger. But why not give me the fucking option? Like, come on. I hope the D-pad is better. Like, D-pad from the Pro Controller was bad. They're updating some games for the Switch 2, specifically to use the new Joy-Con functionalities. So, if you're the proud owner of Super Mario Party Jamboree, there's more games for you to make your family angry at you and your friends. And Mike, exactly. If you're one of those psychos, if you're one of those criminals that hate your family and friends, you now have more games. And make neighbors angry. Like, there's no winning in this game. Like, unless you are an awful person, you will not get Super Mario Party, which I am. So I'm gonna get Super Mario Party. The mini games look kind of neat. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they look interesting, except for the shouting one, which I don't appreciate. It's the only game that I'm like, I don't like this. But the mouse-con, Joy-Con mouse functionality, it's neat. I like the idea. This is like the upgrade. I think there's. Look forward to irritate your siblings on Christmas, I guess. Upgrades for Legend of Zelda 1 and 2, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. They're now running at 60 and support HDR. I think they also have are upscaled to 1080p, right? From what I understood. If you want people to leave the hill alone, invite them to play. Exactly. 120. Okay, that's kind of cool. 1080p, 120 to 1080p. And also you have more navigation stuff, like you have voice memories and like a companion app, I guess. 120, 1080 with HDR and portable. Jesus, Rene is gonna have a field day with this one. He's gonna love it. Honestly, looking forward to see this game like on its, from what I was told, but in Digital Foundry. Okay, that's fair. I like the app stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the app stuff, and that you can download stuff from other players. It's fantastic for me, which I love the building in this game, but I have zero patience for building. Thank you. I have zero patience for building, and the fact that I can just steal each other's creations, it's gonna be so much better. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, obviously gonna play 4K on the big monitor, but the fact that you can play like HDR on the console itself, like it's pretty cool. Mic and cameras will turn off Connect. Yep, kinda is. So we have like more levels for Kirby. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will have both a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. This is something I did not understand specifically. No Street Pass, that's true. I didn't understand if it's like you have the Metroid Prime 4 and you can upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, or if it's like it's two separate things, and if you bought 4 Beyond, you also have to buy Switch 2 edition. in separate. You can? Okay.
60fps で没入感のある世界を探索するか。
Also, I know this is the old man yelling at clouds, but the fact that we have this on the Nintendo like kind of saddens me in a way. Which is like it's something I don't like about the new consoles, the quality mode and performance mode. I get why they do this. I get why this is a thing. For free with an SO, I guess. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I don't like these feature on the new consoles overall, like the quality mode, performance mode. I don't want to make these types of decisions if I'm playing on a console. Like at some point, like this will evolve for something more detailed, I guess. And at that point, you're just playing on PC again, but with extra steps. But yeah, like Metroid look really well. Pokemon ZA also looks better, I guess. I'm not gonna say looks amazing because I don't think Pokemon looks amazing, but it does look better than they showed. But the upgrade is free if you have the extension pack. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, of course I'm looking forward. Oh, this is the Drag X Drive, right? So, I know a lot of people dunked on this game. Because it's Rocket League wheelchairs. Oh, that's funny. But, depending on the price, okay? Like, I don't feel like... I don't know the full extension of these games. I don't know what they have for you to offer, like in terms of modes and... But if this is an $80 game, that's gonna be a bummer. That being said, when we talk about representation in gaming, I think this was a really cool way to do it. I don't think I ever saw a wheelchair basketball game anywhere, actually. You know, like, and it's like, it's if you ever seen that on TV, if you ever seen like wheelchair basketball on TV, you know that thing gets pretty aggressive. Like it's not an easy thing to do, and honestly, like, these athletes deserve more respect. But yeah, in a way, it's DEI Rocket League, I guess. But like, I love it. Like, it's wild to me that it's Nintendo doing this. You know, like it's wild for me to look at 2025 and say, hey, we have a wheelchair basketball wheelchair game. I have a small gripe with it, which is like, I don't know if there's... I think it would be pretty ironic if the fact that in a wheelchair game, there's no accessibility options for you to play the game without the motion controls. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be pretty ironic. Because one thing, like, if I play the game here, like, I'm sitting down, obviously, and I have the hands on my desk, or if I'm playing on like I don't want to be on my couch and dragging the Joy-Cons on my couch pillows, you know, because that doesn't feel like very comfortable for me to play, you know. Like, the fact that you require a surface to play a game, if you are forced to use mouse mode, it's like I get that they want you to use the mouse. I want options to not use the mouse. You know, I think that would be this game you're buying for the 4th time. I think this is the part of the direct where they showed like a bunch of third-party games coming to the Switch. So that's Elden Ring, the Tarnished Edition. Tarnished Edition comes, I guess it comes with the DLC, right? Okay, cool. Like it comes with DLC. Like I'm pretty happy to see people playing this game. Greg Kazavin, if you don't know Greg Kazavin from Supergiant Games, Greg Kazavin used to be a Game Informer writer as well. And it's kind of wild seeing him presenting this on this stage, you know. Like the whole career of this man, like his as I've been following him, it's kind of cool. The audience cheered a lot during the presentation. Yep, I think they should. Since I think the third-party support for Switch was not poor, but it could have done better due to, but it is what it is due to limitations on that console, obviously. And like the fact that we're getting more support for third-party games, it's cool. That being said, if I catch you motherfuckers playing Street Fighter 6 on Wi-Fi, I will come to your house, okay? Do not even think about it. Plug the fucking console. No Wi-Fi warriors, please. Daemon X Machina 2, I guess. Daemon X Machina 2. I'm not gonna lie. I've played the first game. I'm not that excited for this one. The first one was not great, in my opinion. I'm honestly surprised it's getting a sequel. They It's the same as physical internet at my house for some reason. No, it's not. Don't say stuff like that. We both know it's not. It's not like, it's not even about the speed. It's more like about the lost packets. You know. Like as much as good as the internet via Wi-Fi gets, and it's pretty good nowadays. You're more likely to get lost packets with Wi-Fi than via Ethernet. So yeah. And even then, most people don't have that much good of Wi-Fi at home.
At EA Sports, we're bringing fans together across the world, both on the pitch and on the gridiron.
Sports are coming to the Nintendo Switch. They have balls, I guess, and you can throw them around the field. That's my understanding. It's sports.
Hi, I'm Alan Tu from Avalanche Software. We are bringing Hogwarts Legacy to Nintendo Switch 2. With enhanced graphics and
You're shocked you got a sequel. Daemon X Machina? Yeah, same.
immersed in a wizarding world like never before. And the new mouse controls on Switch 2 give you even more ways to experience the adventure. Switch 2.
Hogwarts Legacy. Tony Hawk's coming for the Switch 2. I believe this was also announced for the Switch 1 already, right? So, like, kind of cool, I guess. One of the games I'm looking forward to this year, it's definitely this one. From what I understand, like, this is SpongeBob level. I don't know if this was present in the first game or in 3 or 4, but like the fact that we're getting a SpongeBob level, it's kind of it's kind of dope. Not gonna lie, I don't even like SpongeBob, but I find this so fucking funny.
Hello, this is Christian Elverdam from IO Interactive.
You're getting Hitman.
As the best assassin in the trade, Agent 47 does everything he can to accomplish his mission. and how each mission progresses will vary.
Yeah, I don't remember that thing. Like, I didn't play that much of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, but I did play a lot of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. I don't remember that.
Plus, we are excited to bring another familiar agent to the platform.
Also, they just casually dropped the first teaser for 007, which was wild. Like, we've been hearing about the 007 from IO Interactive for so long. Oh, hit you, man. It was Agent 47. If you need to ask, it was probably Agent 47, I'd say. But yeah, they've been teasing this, like, we've been hearing this for so long, and they just casually dropped a fucking, like, teaser. From IO Interactive. I'm so curious to see what the 007 game is in 2026, I guess, because we're not getting this year for sure. Bravely Default, we almost thought this was Final Fantasy IX. Turns out it was not. Still pretty cool game. Like, Bravely Default is a pretty neat RPG. You haven't played it, like, now you have the chance, I guess. What else? Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. You get more stuff in this version of the game, so more cutscenes, more stuff to do. Play Yakuza, because it's very good. That's my takeaway. New Zelda, except not. This is a new Hyrule Warriors. I'm lukewarm on this. I don't mind Hyrule Warriors. I think it's like Flora Muso game. I think they're kind of alright. Probably one of the best out there, I'd say, or one of the freshest takes on Muso. At the same time, like I don't. I think it's the perfect place to set up a story, to be honest. Like that world, that thing, like it's a good place to set up a warrior story and play through it. At the same time, it's like I'm not sure even if the previous one did that well to warrant a third sequel or a second sequel. I guess it's the third game in the Hyrule Warriors saga. Age of Imprisonment. That's cool. What else? This is more of Hyrule. GameCube classics. We were talking about Twin Snakes at the beginning of this podcast, which I played throughout. If you haven't seen the, if you missed that part, you can get it on the YouTube channel later this week. I'm mixed feelings on these, to be honest. I wish they just ported Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD for the Switch, the original Switch. So we just get like all the 3 Zeldas in one spot, and like this feels to me like it's not happening, I guess. And F-Zero, like, again, pretty awesome game, but again, I'm kind of disappointed that they're showcasing this, because this probably means we're not getting an F-Zero soonish or ever, you know. But now you can play this online, I guess, so kind of cool.
Enjoy these classic games with clearer image quality and higher resolution than the original releases. You can also check the controls for each title and customize them to your liking.
The fact that you can change controls, like, it's kind of cool. Good for accessibility. They showcase some stuff. Fire Emblem, Gale of Darkness. I never played these Pokemon. Smash Football. Chibi Robo, it's pretty cool. Chibi Robo, it's actually pretty dope. Which, again, I wish that they made a new one instead of, like, dumping the GameCube version in this service. But it is what it is. Here's the awful controller that we talked about.
The original GameCube controller will also be released. It can connect wirelessly and also has
They added the ZL button. They added the ZL button here, but it's so small. Like, please, just make it symmetrical, please. Just make it like, just be normal, please. God damn it. Kinda neat though. It is a bit insane. You know one thing that will make me purchase this, like, very quickly? Like this expansion pack. The expansion pack for like the GameCube games and the Switch too is if they add Eternal Darkness in here. This is not the GameCube design? What do you mean? This is a GameCube controller, as they are saying. It's the Wavebird 2.0. Oh, if you had another shoulder. Yeah, I get it. But it fits. It fits there. It fits. There's like pretty enough big space in there that you could just... You know what? It's honestly crazy to me that Deltarune has this spotlight. Like, I'm not saying like Deltarune is bad, like, on the contrary, I think like Undertale and Deltarune are pretty sick games. But the fact that they made it like to this direct, like to this platform, this live stream, that is pretty big, right? It's I think it's still wild. Like, I know Toby Fox is friends with Nintendo. He made some Pokemon music as well. But it's still an indie game coming out. Like, Randy Pitchford jump scare. It's like it's the worst part of this fucking direct. God damn it. Jesus. Like, they should have put a fucking warning. Like, be aware, Randy Pitchford's coming in.
Borderlands game will launch on Nintendo Switch 2. Borderlands is back. Loot and shoot.
Yeah, I don't care for Borderlands. It's fine. Like, glad that people are playing Borderlands 4. Toby Fox will make Mother 3 remake and Mother 4. Yeah. Civilization kind of cool, especially now that you can play with mouse controls. 2K, so more sports ball. Dude, Survival Kids, it's very weird, okay? And because this used to be a Konami. This used to be a Konami thing, and it feels to me like a reboot, but it's such a shitty reboot that I'm not... Like, I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Nicely done. Well, I think that's everything. Let's set sail. This time for home.
Yeah, it is Konami Digital, but like, if this is like such a deep cut, but like, what the fuck? This was like a Game Boy Color game. Survival Kids 2, if you want. So this was the game, and now we're looking at whatever we saw. It looks so shit, man.
Hi, I'm Dave Crooks from
The Game Boy Color games were kind of neat. So when they said Survival Kids, I'm like, huh, really? They're bringing this back, I guess. But then, like, you see the gameplay, it's like, oh, okay, they Subway Surfer this shit, and it's not.
fan favorite elements to return. We're still working on the game, and we're excited to share more with you in the future.
Neo Enter the Gungeon. kind of neat. A new game by the Astroneer crowd. Astroneer is pretty good. I still recommend... I can't recommend enough Astroneer, actually. It's still such an awesome game. Starseeker, right, I forgot the name. Astroneer Expeditions. But yeah, like, first Astroneer is really good. Like, I bet it will be kind of cool. And Cyberpunk is coming as well. Like, I'm very happy. More games coming to Nintendo Switch. Final Fantasy, Hitman. They showcase some games here that we're not expecting. Kunitsugami. Play Kunitsugami. Kunitsugami is very good. This was fucking wild. They showed 3 clips. They showed 3 clips of Silksong. Absolutely crazy. Like everyone waiting for the fucking Silksong for ages. It's like, yeah, here's 3 clips. I don't care. It's fucking good. Oh man, I can't believe they did this. You guys wanted Silksong. You fucking perverts. There you go. Silksong. 3 clips. Done. Bye. Like, what the fuck? That was it? You got Silksong. You can go now. Puyo Puyo Tetris, by the way. Pretty cool. And that was the perfect place to show it, I guess, yeah. Hey D, welcome to the stream. Hey Mark. We're just checking on the news here, like talking about the Switch and the rest of the stuff. While Hearts existing, it's absolutely fucking crazy. Didn't like EA drop the support for this game like last year? What the fuck? And they're like, no, it's coming on the Switch too. Haha. Like, what the Jesus? Why? Why are you doing this? This game is fucking dead now. What the fuck? EA, what are you doing? What are we doing here? What the fuck? Oh man. Yeah, we're seeing the games for the new console and like just chatting about it. Only a full year. EA, come on, man. It's such a EA shit to do. Like, hey, we're selling you this dead game now. It's probably $80. Reanimal, actually, like, I'm kind of hyped for this game. And Fortnite. Fortnite's on the fucking Switch too, let's go! Obviously, like, it was gonna be there. Like, I don't even know, like, what was the doubt. Ridge Racer coming back was something I was not expecting, but kind of cool. And a New Layton. New Layton, it's probably one of those games that I'm getting. Like, when I buy the console, which will not be on release probably. But a New Layton, it's always like a cool thing. I love Layton games. Tamagotchi Plaza, I'm fine. I don't need to. Human Fall Flat, Rene recommends very much the first one. I never played it. Layton is my MVP game. I'm glad to know there's more people of culture in chat. I saw the battery news. I will choose to ignore it and see like when stuff comes out. Because people are saying like it lasts 2 hours, but like, oh, sure, like it will depend on the game. If you push this battery enough, like in any console, like obviously it's gonna be pretty bad, but it will depend on the game. 2 to 6, it's not great, but it's pretty normal, pretty within standards, I'd say. So in the meantime, we got this.
And transport him to a night of moonlight.
They said 2 with a full pushing game with game chat on as an example of 2 hours. I see. Okay. I think it makes sense. Like, not a typical portable experience. Yeah, that's exactly. Like my deck usually runs for like 4 hours if I'm playing, for like 4 to 5 hours if I'm playing UFO 50. If I'm playing something as Spider-Man, it will last 2. Is in the original 3 to 9? Yeah, but you don't have game chat enabled, right? And even then, like, sometimes Zelda would not get to 3. Like, I remember playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, they would not get to 3. New consoles are expensive. Fair value, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know about that. Look, we talked about this. I don't want to use game chat. Like, so, some people are like, obviously, they have cool friends. Some people have cool friends and they don't do shit on the screens. I know my friends, they will probably show me their dick on screen, and I don't want to see their dick on screen, okay? If they want to show me their dick, they can come to my house. Yeah, I think like I think like people will use this feature. I just think like Discord would have been so much easier. That again, like, Nintendo needs to be in control. That's a wild claim. What do you mean? I know my friends, Mary. I know how they behave. I will probably be on my couch, like, chilling with my girlfriend there. They're like, "Hey, there you go, dong on screen." I'm like, "No, dude, I'm turning this off. I don't care." Also, I'm so confused. They dropped the From Software game out of fucking nowhere. That looks eerily similar to Legally Distinct Yarnum. I guess with some wuxia, Chinese wuxia, inspiration in the middle, and some other stuff. And a jetpacking medieval robot, I guess. And just dropped out of fucking nowhere. What we know about this is it's a PvP. It's a PvP PvE. So it's Escape from Tarkov with Dark Souls in the mix. You know, it's like being a vampire. I do like vampires. Vampires are freaking cool. I mean, I'm a fan of Castlevania, so I guess. But yeah, like I'm not surprised of what this is. I'm just surprised it's coming exclusively to the Nintendo Switch 2. Like dropping this out of nowhere. It's like, wow. Kind of cool though. Like, not gonna lie, like the game, the fact that it's multiplayer is not that appealing to me overall. Like on a personal level, right? It's like, it's kind of funny that they're leaning more on the multiplayer experiences side on these last 2 games. They're probably making a full single player one. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be an Elden Ring sequel, like a full open world stuff, but obviously they're probably making other, From Software is probably making other game. But the fact that they're leaning on 2 multiplayer experiences on these last 2 releases, it's honestly kind of interesting. With how Bloodborne happened, having another exclusive game like this is bad. But yeah, that's true. Like, obviously it's true. for the Souls franchise overall. But you know, like, these deals get made, and like I feel like they kind of wanted to bring on the crowd that likes the Soul games for their side. And even then, like, I can see this being later released down the line. You know, like, people say there was no Nintendo games released on the on other platforms, but I gotta disagree, because at least I know of one. You know, I know one is not very good, but it's better than none, and it was wonderful one-on-one. It was technically a Nintendo exclusive for the longest time. I lost my patience with Elden Ring. Yeah, I mean, those games are not for everyone. I get it. I didn't like Elden Ring as much. Like, I don't like the open world. I'm a Souls fan. The open world didn't click with me. New Kirby Air Riders. Like, I know people like. I know people like Kirby Air Ride a lot. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to think of this. Never played Air Ride. Also, Sakurai is doing this, and hopefully not killing himself while he does a new game. But glad to see he's active and doing other stuff other than Smash. And this to me, like, was the second trailer that, like, got me interested the most in the lineup. This reminded me of Kirby game they made with cakes. That was also pretty good, but like, Air Ride had another game earlier on the GameCube that people speak very fondly of it. I legit never played it. I maybe I should, now that I have the Dolphin emulator installed on the Steam Deck. So we have a new Donkey Kong game. Actually, the first Donkey Kong 3D game since the first one on the N64. I was pretty surprised by two things on the trailer. One is that, like, the environment is really like, I don't know if it's fully destructible, but it feels to me like it's very much destructible. Which obviously, like, showcases the ability of the console to handle this type of stuff. And I wonder, like, what this will do for the exploration. The second thing that got me really curious about this game is they gave Kong pants. For some reason. Maybe they, you know, like, they didn't want Donkey Kong to show their Konkey dong. But why do you give him pants? He never had pants before. What the fuck? But it does look pretty good. Bonanza. Also, please, whoever's coming up with these names for Donkey Kong games, please get these people a raise. Like, they're so fucking stupid. They're borderline cringe, but the good kind of cringe. Okay, Bonanza, it's very good. Not a launch title though. And I think that's it. We reached the end of the presentation. Bonanza is awesome, right? We reached the end of the presentation. There's going to be two bundles for the Switch. One is the Switch only, so only the console with the dock, and and the charger. That's that's gonna be 470 euros over here in Portugal. And the other one comes with Mario Kart World bundled as a digital game for 520, I believe, or 510, I believe. So yeah, overall, like, I feel like I was talking to some people. 409, okay, so yeah, 409 in Portugal with the bundle. I was talking to people yesterday, and I feel I got the impression that I left. I feel like I left him with the impression I did not like the direct at all. And then, like, that's like, that was not my intention. Okay, it's like, if you got the idea, if you're by talking to me via DMs or something, that I hated this direct, like, I didn't hate the direct. I think, like, they showcased a pretty good balance of what the console is. Hey, mister, thank you for the lurk, man. I think they showcase very well of what the console is capable of, the types of games we can expect from third-party support. But they showed us, like, in terms of first-party games, they showed us the new Mario Kart, right? The new Mario Kart, and then they showed us the welcome tour, the paid manual thing, the upgrades, and then you got the grip X-Race, the wheelchair, the basketball wheelchair game, which I think is pretty neat again. But then you have Kirby Air Riders, the Donkey Kong Bonanza, and the Duskbloods. So you got 6 games that are coming, like, later down the line. Obviously, they're gonna showcase a lot more games after launch, probably, and even before launch. But my impression through this was that I as someone who exclusively buys Nintendo to play Nintendo exclusives, I'm not that interested in the third-party support, especially if it's for ports like Cyberpunk or like Yakuza. Like, I can play those games on my PC. I'm privileged enough to have a PC that runs those games, obviously. And if you don't have a machine that runs those games, like, this is pretty cool for you. You're gonna buy a Switch 2 and you're gonna have access to these games. Personally, for me, this doesn't say much. And at the same time, they really didn't go all in on the first party stuff, which I find it kind of weird. Like, at the end of the day, like, because usually they showcase stuff that highlights the Switch or the console capabilities, and I feel like we didn't had much of these here. In terms of games, they showcase the abilities of the console, but not, like, with the major games, right? Which makes me feel like I don't know if I need this to get this on the launch date. Although, obviously, like, I'm pretty hyped to play Mario Kart. That Mario Kart looks fucking sick. And the more I look at Donkey Kong, although it's not like a staple franchise for me, like, I love the 2D games. I think they're very, very good platformers, but I'm not, like, a big Donkey Kong fan. But the more I look at the game, the more I see, like, yeah, this looks pretty sick. That being said, I was talking to Rene yesterday. Like, the impression that I got from this direct is I probably can hold on and not get this on the launch day. Although, obviously, like, I think it's also very unfair to judge this. To judge the console by their unveiling. As I was saying to Rene, I think I can only remember one console that the unveiling actually damaged the reputation of the console, and that was obviously Xbox One, because of the whole game sharing thing and the DRM and all that stupid presentation that they made. That it's the only console that I can think of going backwards and be like, yeah, they really fucked up there. But the other consoles, like, get defined by what they do during the generations. So I don't think like people not getting hyped overall like for this console, like even like if it's the shock factor of the price being higher than they expected, if it's the fact that they didn't showcase as many games as as many Nintendo games as they would like, for the fact that maybe you don't have a new Zelda to showcase or a new Mario, right? I think it's fine. Okay, like I don't think it's a bad thing that people did not get as hyped as they expected to be with this at the end of this Nintendo Direct. Which obviously, like, as we go along and we get like closer and closer to the release date, we'll probably get some stuff. That being said, like, I hope you guys are excited for this. Like, I think the console and the games that they showcase, like, they will be pretty cool overall. I think like the fact that they're going all in on the open world stuff for Mario Kart, the Mario Kart World thing, it's probably gonna be kind of neat. I still don't get the game chat. Like I don't get game chat in the sense, like, I don't get why Nintendo does this. Like, this weird integration with weird ass parental controls and weird ass like ways of communicating with each other, and the way that, because you now have two separate friend lists, one for game chat, one for Nintendo, and you need to accept everything to make it all work, like, feels like a lot of hassle, you know. But at the same time, like, it's Nintendo, you know, like, it is what it is. They always do things differently in some way, shape, or form. And we'll see. Like, I think this console will do fantastic. Let me open this, like, the major announcements for this, besides obviously the whole trailers. Release date confirmed, price confirmed. Let me see if they have the international price here, actually. Pre-orders will begin next week. And Mario Kart will cost $80 for the physical game release. That's quite steep. The game's prices are kind of a choice, I'd say. A weird choice, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for saying this page is fucked. Let me see. There was another thing, because cool things. Most of the games, like, despite our conjunction, despite our, like, I guess our guessing that we made in the last weeks about games that were compatible and not compatible with the console itself, only one Switch game is absolutely not compatible with the console. And that is the Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 4, which is the VR headset. So because so every Nintendo Switch accessory, like from the controllers and the Joy-Cons, are all compatible with a Nintendo Switch 2. You can play games like Ring Fit Adventure. You can play games like the Mario Party stuff. All those games work as long as you use the original Switch controllers, okay? Which obviously you can charge them on the console itself, like you can on the Switch One, because the Joy-Cons just don't fit. It's a different form of fitting on the console. But you can play those games as long as you connect the old controllers to the new Switch, which is kind of neat. They ended up not losing a lot of games on the process. So pretty nice. Good on them. Only the VR Toy-Con will not work, because obviously, like, the VR is made with a specific size in mind for the console, and Switch 2 is bigger than Switch 1, so obviously does not fit on the Toy-Con itself. So you can't use the VR headset. still kind of neat. Like the fact that they did this is pretty cool. I want to see if they have the price. So UK, the system will cost £395 with the Mario Kart World Bundle costing $429.99. Europe, the system will sell for $469, so $470, and the bundle going for $510. In Canada, the system will cost $629, so $630, with the Mario Kart bundle costing $699. Where's the US price? Oh, there you go. US price is $500 basically, which includes the system and the download codes for the Mario Kart World game. Oh, so this is with the bundle, and without the bundle it's $450. That's fine. Nintendo games is too much expensive, almost €100 to buy a game. I mean, it's not really 100 though. Like if you go into, if you're expecting, you need the accessories for Nintendo Switch 2 to play Ring Fit, right? No. You need so you need the Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Cons that you will connect via Bluetooth to the Nintendo Switch 2, and obviously you need the ring from Ring Fit that comes with the game to play said game on the Nintendo Switch 2. So like if you have the game and you have the ring, the yoga ring that comes with it, you can connect it to the Switch 2, no problem. The only thing is that you can't charge the Joy-Con 1 on the Joy-Con 2 like you do with the original Switch. You have to have a separate charger. You know, like those accessories that you place the Joy-Cons on it. And you snap them to charge, like it's a USB charger for the Joy-Cons, which is fine. I know, like it makes sense obviously, because if the Joy-Cons are different, you can't use them on the original console. Yeah, and you're gonna connect the old Joy-Con. You can't connect the new one because the new one, first, you don't have the railing system. Obviously, like the railing system that goes on the ring does not exist. This is a magnet system. So obviously, like just from there, you can connect them to the old ring. But also the original Joy-Cons have a infrared sensor that you use to measure your heartbeat or your pulse. And the new ones don't have that infrared sensor. So like you can't use the sensor with the new ones. And yeah, the new ones are also bigger, so obviously like they probably won't fit in there. In the meantime, like the pre-orders go up next week. You can already pre-order in some stores, by the way, but on the Nintendo Switch, on the Nintendo store, there's a caveat, because to reward the most dedicated Nintendo Switch players in Europe and the UK, the opportunity to pre-order the Switch 2 console from my Nintendo store will initially be offered on an invite-only basis to select Nintendo Switch Online members. The full criteria is shown below. So if you're looking to pre-order the console from the Nintendo store itself, this does not apply to other stores. Okay, you need to have been a Switch Online member for at least 2 years continuously by the 31st of March, with an active membership on the day that the pre-order is placed. So you need to be a Nintendo Switch Online member. For family memberships, the person who purchased the membership will be eligible. In this case, that will be me. I do have more people in the family. Only I can pre-order the Switch. Other people in the family memberships are not eligible. You also need to have playtime, has spent a certain amount of time playing purchased and paid Nintendo Switch games, prioritizing those with more playtime. I believe the threshold, from what I read, is 50 hours minimum, so you need to play at least 50 hours to be eligible. And sharing usage information with Nintendo, and has opted in to share usage information with Nintendo to customize offers and recommendations. And you have to receive an email from Nintendo. Has opted in to receive promotional emails and messages from Nintendo, and be opted in on the date of the invitation email is sent. I might have failed here. So yeah, I cannot pre-order this via the Nintendo store. Fuck. Fine, okay. And as I was saying, like in the meantime, they dropped the compatibility issues for games that are having a small problem being played on the new console. And I'm gonna be pretty honest, this list is pretty much stupid, because if you look at the handling, you go game title, 112 operator, the issue is being investigated, a blind is blob, issue is being investigated. Everything says this issue is being investigated, all the way the fuck down to like the very bottom, except fucking Fortnite. They could have just made the fucking list without the whole Excel spreadsheet and just say, hey, Fortnite from Nintendo Switch will not work on the Nintendo Switch because a new version is coming. That's it. I just find it so funny that they made a whole Excel spreadsheet with like, this issue is being investigated, this issue is being investigated, this issue is being investigated, and you get to fucking Fortnite like, a Nintendo Switch 2 version is planned, don't worry. Like concept playing Metroid Prime with a mouse. Legally speaking, I cannot say that I have. Not legally speaking, I did. It's kind of neat. It's honestly pretty good. That's what I'm not gonna say to you. Yeah. Oh, Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival. It's not compatible right now. Fuck. This will probably be like, hey, this game needs an update just to be able to run on a new console. Probably pretty easy to fix, unless most of these companies do not give a fuck and they don't update the games. Yeah, pretty much pretty cool that they announced a bunch of stuff for the Nintendo Switch 2, and we have the grasp of what the console is right now. But in the meantime, yeah, I'll probably skip the launch, not gonna lie. Like, I think the pricing is a bit too... I don't think it's unfair. It's a pretty like, for the amount of games that I'm getting, I don't think I can justify the price for now. At least for me, you know, like I don't want to play the two Zeldas enhanced. Like, it's not like a priority. And Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, they're two good games, though they seem like two really good games, just not enough for me to shell out like the money that they're asking. And let's go into like just two different types of news here that we didn't discuss yet. Like, we're moving away from Nintendo. I think like we just need to wait for more information right now. And like, if you're hyped for the new console, like, cool. I think the console looks pretty neat, and we needed desperately we desperately needed more information on this. Two small things. Hogwarts Legacy expansion reportedly scrapped in Warner Brothers Games Overhaul. This is like a really short piece of news, but apparently the sequel for Hogwarts Legacy and hey Paige, what's up? So with like Monolith Productions shutting down and like a bunch of changes going into as a big fan of the game, I'm pretty happy about this. Explain. Just bring the sequel, don't need to milk. Yeah, the thing is, like, I bet they got to a point where like the expansion, the weird thing for me with this expansion thing that they canceled is that they said the expansion didn't have enough content for them to... The expansion did not have enough content to justify the price, which makes me very confused, because like, if you have more content, if you think you're lacking content for an expansion but you're making a sequel, then are you putting that content in the sequel? Are you scrapping that thing entirely? Could you add more content, or could you bring down the price for the expansion? I'm not sure what's the thing here. It's the way that, like, I obviously, like, this happens a lot in video game development. Like, ideas are scrapped all the time, and stuff never sees the light of day. It's pretty common, right? We just don't hear about it every day. It's more like the way they worded this thing. It's like, hey, we're making expansions. Turns out we're not making expansions because we didn't have enough content to justify selling it for the price that we're gonna ask. So bring down the price, maybe, because, like, probably most of the development was there, right? I do prefer the sequel. Okay, like, I do prefer the sequel. I think a sequel, it's better. Like, it's like, game is done, close the page on this one, let's move on to the next one. So people that bought the first game, like, now have the full experience. It's, I don't know, like, it felt, yeah, it's weird. That's why I prefer them to stick with the sequel. Bringing down the price probably meant making it free. The thing is, like, it's Warner Brothers. They will probably gonna charge $25 for an expansion, right? Or 30. Which, like, hey, just sell it for 5 or 10. Like, just do it. If you make it cheap, you know, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's the way they worded stuff. So we have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around the best games possible with our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. They're focusing, like, on their best franchises, obviously. But it's kind of weird. Yeah. And obviously, like, the big news that hit last week, it's Ubisoft and Tencent unveiling the new subsidiary for Assassin's Creed. I like how they say unveil a new subsidiary, but they didn't specifically name it. Which means, like, hey, we have a new thing here. What's it called? It's a new thing. Like, okay. Interesting. But yeah, but Tencent will own a minority of the stake in the new subsidiary, which will focus on the 3 IPs. So, in the 3 IPs are Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, specifically. Not other Tom Clancy's IPs, like you have Splinter Cell, you have End War, you have Division, and a bunch of others, like, from Tom Clancy. But they're specifically focusing on Rainbow Six. And two key things here is, one, obviously they're going to focus on they're basically creating a company within the same company and bringing those IPs with them for that specific subsidiary, right? And they chose the IPs that are most profitable, which makes me question why they didn't bring Just Dance. I know this sounds like a meme, but Just Dance makes them a shit ton of money every fucking year, because Just Dance is a very profitable game. So the fact that they're not bringing them to this new subsidiary, it's kind of it's a weird decision, I'd think. And the thing is, like, it's backed by greater investment and boosted creative capabilities. So here's the thought on this. Like, the subsidiary has been valued at around 4 billion, and Tencent will be investing 1.6 billion to gain a minority stake of around 25%. So this will drive further increases in quality of narrative solo experiences, expand multiplayer offerings with increased frequency of content release, introduce free-to-play touchpoints, and integrate more social features. I think they were kind of doing that before this went on. And the thing is, like, so first of all, this is the Gilmon family, so the Ubisoft founders, and it's Gilmon most of all, kind of creating a bubble around their best franchises, right? To kind of protect them and be like, hey, this is the core thing of the company. This is our main thing. Like, this is the games that make us money. and are profitable. And if you want to show this to other investors, right, besides Tencent, obviously, you have that package that's like, hey, yeah, we kind of have like a bigger company like behind this, but this is what we want you guys to invest in. And they showcase there's 3 franchises: Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry. And they're like, yeah, this is the best thing that we have, and you guys should invest on this because this brings us money. Excuse me. Obviously, like in the business type of situation, this makes sense, right? And Tencent has the control as well, like the 25%, and that makes us money. The rest of the franchises are going to be handled by the rest of Ubisoft, and they can kind of go with it and be like, this is our experimental branch. We take these games and we do stuff with them. They are not as profitable as the other 3, but sometimes they bring money, sometimes they don't. But they're more like of a risk thing, more of a risk investment. But these three are the cool, are like our cool, it's our cool shit, right? There you go. Please give us money. I think this, honestly, like this is all like doom and gloom. Like a lot of people were talking about this and saying, oh my god, this is like, it's the end of Ubisoft. Ubisoft is going bankrupt. Like it's the end. It's like Armageddon for Ubisoft. And honestly, I think it's the opposite. I think, first of all, like this happens all the time. Okay, like if you look at Embracer Group, Embracer has like 5 subsidiaries. EA has a lot of them. So like this is not something like exclusive to Ubisoft. A lot of companies do this because they kind of organize their. Think of this as organizing by drawers, right? You have the sock drawer, you have the t-shirts drawer, and the like the shirts and whatever, and the pants. So like this is basically Ubisoft going like, okay, this drawer, this is where we keep like the good stuff. The rest of the drawers are like the more weird stuff. The major thing about this is that the investors on the Ubisoft mother company, so the original Ubisoft, they don't have a saying. They don't have a saying on this because it's owned 25% owned by Tencent. So Tencent and Yves Guillemot or the Guillemot family will have the final saying, and it's a private company, so it's not publicly traded. While Ubisoft is publicly traded and you can buy shares from it, right? And I think this, like, in the long run, maybe not for the studios themselves. So that's the downside of it. I think, like, for the studios themselves, this will probably mean that, you know, more work hours, more crunch, more investment in AAA stuff, like you have on, you know, better graphics, better engines and all that. At the same time, I think on the long run, this is going to be good for Guillemot, obviously, for Tencent, because they're going to make money from the new games, but most of all for the consumer, because if you are getting more investment for these specific games, maybe we can see a world where they actually bring these IPs to the next generation, right? Like, a lot of people complain about Assassin's Creed and Far Cry because they're basically the same games over and over, just reskinned. Maybe we'll see actual development. And then you have Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six. That's I think it's going free to play, if I'm not mistaken. On a future update, very soonish, if not already. And they will probably invest on it, like in terms of esports, in terms of making the players be more engaged with the game. Honestly, like, as much of doom and gloom goes around Ubisoft around these days, these feels like a pretty good thing overall for the company itself. If this means that the games will flop and like future games will flop and eventually Tencent gets more control of the IPs, that's also a possibility. But like on like thinking in like happy terms, I guess, and not being like pessimistic about it, I think this will honestly be good for overall for everyone, which is great. You know, like sometimes every once in a while there's a company that needs to take the fall on with gaming. You know, like a few years ago there was EA. CD Projekt Red almost got there with Cyberpunk as well. And I'm not saying like Ubisoft wants to fall down on purpose. Obviously, it's just like sometimes it is what it is. Like sometimes you got to take the fall to get back up, and that's why I think what Ubisoft is doing right now. It's like it's getting their shit organized and going down a little bit, and then on the upcoming years just going a little bit more, getting back up on their feet slowly, you know, which is kind of cool. Obviously, like Assassin's Creed has been doing very well. Not sure how Rainbow Six is doing, but I bet it's still pretty populated overall. I don't think there's probably a new Far Cry on the way. Like we haven't heard of a new Far Cry in quite a while. Last one was Far Cry 6, I believe. So that means like we'll probably gonna get a Far Cry 7 or some type of Far Cry game pretty much down the line. Maybe still announced in 2025, judging by the conversations around these move. So yeah, pretty cool on Ubisoft. And that's it. Like we reached the end of this fantastic podcast, I guess, and the gaming news that hit the world, the Nintendo news that hit pretty hard. If you guys have any questions, please post them in chat or join the Discord. Actually, join our Discord and leave your questions in the question section, or if you want me to react to news, or if there's something you'd like me to check out, just let me know. Because overall, I think this was a pretty cool week for gamers overall. Despite the economic struggles that arrived and they are on the horizon with all the tariffs talk and all the Switch thing, like the Switch prices coming up. I think like regarding announcements, this was a pretty cool week. Overall, we saw some really cool shit. And even last week, like they announced a new Rhythm Heaven game, the Tomodachi Life as well, like it's coming up. I because of that, I installed the Tomodachi Life from the 3DS back on my 3DS, and I'll probably give it a whirl during the weekend just to check out that game. And yeah, this is gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Another edition of the Fgeitas show. We're on episode 12. Can you even imagine that? Episode 12 of the Fgeitas show. I didn't think I could do it for so long. I know it's only 12 weeks in a row, but honestly, figuring out what I'm gonna talk about every week and having interesting discussions to have with you guys in chat. Sometimes like I feel like it's more takes a lot more than I thought it would be, but at the same time I really like talking about this stuff, and I like talking about gaming news and gaming in general. So I always end up like trying to give my best in my opinions and trying to give a fair shot of whatever is going on. This is gonna do it. I'll see you guys next week for another edition of the Fgeitas show. I don't know if I'm gonna stream. I'll maybe stream Saturday. There's a high likely chance that I'll stream a little bit on Saturday. Just check out some demos or maybe some Tekken. So if you guys are around Saturday morning, just give me a holla. Check the Twitch or check Discord, and I'll probably be around there. In the meantime, follow on my socials. Socials, especially Twitter and Instagram. This is where I post most of the stuff. I'm trying to be more active on Blue Sky, but I think as more people went to Blue Sky, the more of a shit show it became. So it's just like it's becoming another Twitter with less ads, which obviously it's a plus. But I'm at some point it's like I need to choose between interacting in one or the other, which means I'm obviously interacting with X, which that's where the crowd is, I guess. And just a quick reminder: this edition of the podcast will be on my YouTube channel. Thanks, Nightbot, for listening to me. Later this week, probably tomorrow, I'll upload this there. And if you've missed the beginning or the other podcasts, you know, like you can go back to the stupid things I said in last week and the other weeks. You can check out there on the youtube.com @ the Fgeitas Show as well. That's gonna do it. Thank you very much for hanging out.